There are tons of different types of bad levels in Super Mario Maker. There are levels where all there is to do is to swim through a seemingly never-ending corridor. There are levels where we have to pick 1 out of 4 doors, while 3 of them immediately kill us. There are stages that just consist of tons of spammed enemies, stages where we have to take all our courage and to jump onto a small platform that we can't see. And there are levels that are seemingly empty, but at one point there is a single invisible question block hidden that contains the required exit key. Those types of levels are probably among the worst types of levels that exist, but they also raise a question that we, as Super Mario Maker scientists, simply can't ignore. Can we do worse? Is it possible to improve those horrible Mario Maker levels in such a way that they become much worse? Well, today we're going to finally answer this eternal question, because today we'll take a look at Picador, Empty Swim, Leap of Faith, Find the Invisible Block and Enemy Spam levels. And we'll try to worsen all of those stages. So you ready? Let's do this! Okay, so first let's take a look at Picador Stages. So the first question that we have to answer if we really want to make those stages even worse is why it is exactly that Picador levels are so bad. Luckily, this is easy to answer. It is just completely random if Luigi is going to survive if he walks through one of those doors. There is no way for Green Mario to know which door is going to kill him before he enters it. But those stages also have a problem. Once Luigi found out which door is the correct one, it never changes. If we try to create a level that is as humanly bad as possible, then that's definitely a problem, because after a while the Picador mechanic loses all its randomness. Luckily, that's easy to fix. So here Luigi finds himself in the middle of an underground cave. There isn't much going on here. There are just a couple of claws followed by an empty corridor that leads towards 4 doors. The path towards the exit flag is blocked by an evil bullet blaster. 3 out of the 4 doors transport Luigi directly on top of an ouching saw blade. But which door should our green plumber pick? It looks like Luigi decided to go through the door that has the 2 arrows pointing towards it. I mean, there are arrows pointing towards it. It's obvious that this door is the correct one. And hooray, it was the right one. Luigi got teleported back into this room. But this time, the path to the famous exit flag is open. That was fun. Let's do it again. So Luigi once again makes his way through the stage. As a side note, in case anyone is thinking that this level looks really unpolished, thank you, it took a lot of work to make it look so unfinished. I'm trying to stick to a theme here. Anyway, so Luigi stands once again in front of the 4 doors. He once again picks the one with the arrows and he once again... Oh, he died. Well, that is unfortunate, I guess. So, what is going on here? Well, the answer is actually surprisingly simple. We use 2 clown car randomizers at the top to truly randomize which door is the correct one. In the earlier part, there is a first clown car randomizer hidden. This one either flips a 2-state block or does nothing. Then the door part is loaded. Both clown cars live on top of dotted line blocks, one on top of blue ones and one on top of red ones. Depending on the randomized state of the on-off block, either only the clown car to the right or only the one to the left is allowed to load and randomizes once again, which gives us 1 out of 4 different states. All 4 of those brick blocks are spawn blocking bullet blasters, so only one of those blasters is able to load in once Luigi goes through a door. If he went through the door that is now blocked by blaster, he can't leave the door and is sent back. Otherwise, he touches the deadly ouching saw blades and dies. So in this level, it is always truly random which door is killing Luigi. Hooray! Next, let's try to make Find the Hidden Block stages worse. So Find the Hidden Block levels are most of the times just empty stages where Toad has to, well, to find the block. So those are obviously pretty bad since there is absolutely nothing going on in them. But there is definitely still room for improvement. See, the problem is the following. It usually doesn't take too long to jump everywhere once until Toad finally finds the question block. That's obviously not a lot of fun, but things could be much worse. So check this out. Here, Toad once again finds himself in the middle of an empty ghost house, desperately looking for a key. But this time, there is something else going on, because this time, Toad is only allowed to jump once. If Toad jumps once while looking for the evil hidden block, then nothing happens. But as soon as he jumps a second time, the floor transforms into shiny, yet deadly coins, which definitely makes this level a lot worse. Hooray! So how do we count how often Toad jumped? Well, we do it with 2 things. First, there are anti-jump forms hidden out of sight that trigger a 2-state block as soon as Toad jumps. And second, there is this neat little device. This neat little device is something special, because this little device is a real-time global counter that activates a P-switch as soon as it counts 2. Icicles are global ground, so everything that lives on top of an icicle stays permanently loaded. The shell is now blocked by this muncher. This muncher lives on top of a blue dotted line block, so as soon as we activate a 2-state block, the dotted line block becomes pretty solid and kills the muncher during this process. But now the shell is still entrapped, this time because of the blue block. But if we activate the 2-state block a second time, which only happens if we jump a second time, then the path forwards opens up and the shell destroys the piranha plant that lives in between those two munchers. Muncher drops down, P-switch triggered, floor gun, hooray! The cool thing about this design is that it works globally. In this tremendously bad stage, this device still destroys the floor, even if our favorite mushroom is on the completely other side of the map. Excellent. Next, let's try to make leap of faith stages worse. So leap of faiths are basically blind jumps into the unknown. They're usually considered to be quite bad since, well, since there's no way to know where to land when jumping, but those stages share a problem with Picador levels. Once Toadette made the jump once, she knows where to land. It's only horrible the first couple of times, but after a while it is no real leap of faith anymore. Luckily, this little problem can be easily solved. So here Toadette finds herself on top of a cliff. In front of her are tons of bumpers, but the real bumper here is what comes after, because afterwards Toadette has to jump down into the unknown. And this time it is a real unknown, because the platform at the bottom moves seemingly at random to the left and right, so Toadette never knows where to land. That's truly horrible and frustrating. Hooray! Okay, so how did we do this? Well, the answer to this question is truly astonishingly plain. All that we need to pull this off is a global asynchronous timer. So this is what a global asynchronous timer looks like. Once again, everything takes place on icicles, since icicles are awesome and global ground. This shell simply starts to travel as soon as we start the game. Every time the shell hits the on-off block to the right, the conveyor belts change direction, and so does the landing platform. The reason why the 2-state blocks change direction after seemingly random intervals is because of those two brave buzzy beetles and the bullet blasters they carry. Every time they bump into each other, they change direction, and every time the shell at the top hits the blaster, it changes direction too, which is the whole trick. Technically, such a timer isn't really random, but without seeing it, it's basically impossible to predict when it triggers, and therefore it does the job. As a side note, such asynchronous timers are actually quite interesting. Here, for example, we use the same timer to have stacked boos on top of a cannon on the side of conveyor belts move seemingly randomly up and down, which, you know, could probably be the central mechanic of a really good stage. But that's not what we are here for today. So back to making bad levels worse. Let's worsen an enemy spam level. So those stages usually always work the same. There are tons of random enemies, and somewhere there is a star. If Mario grabs the star, everything is fine and the stage is boring. If Mario misses the star, well, then he's as good as dead. By the way, welcome back, Mario. How was your holiday?
Oh, mamma mia! Ravioli.
Oh, I'm sorry your holiday didn't work out. But we're all glad that you're back, even though you may have picked the wrong video to reappear. Anyway, so here Mario finds himself in the middle of one of those evil enemy spam levels. There is a star in front of Mario, but the star is really hard to reach, so Mario misses it. Oh, he got it. Wow, looks like the holiday did Mario good after all. So now all that is left to do for a relaxed plumber is to run through all the enemies until the floor transforms into shiny yet deadly coins, and Mario falls into his doom for the first time in weeks. Ouch. Turns out the way we made this level even worse was by forbidding Mario to touch the star. If Mario touched the star previously, the floor collapses before he's able to reach his beloved flagpole. But if he didn't eat the glittering power-up, then no floor doesn't disappear and Mario is actually allowed to finish this horrible level. So how do we collapse the floor here? Well, we make heavy use of VLC manipulation. As soon as there are more than 100 power-ups loaded, bullet blasters stop to spit out power-ups. So here we first load 99 power-ups onto global ground, which means if the star gets eaten, the blaster shoots. If the star doesn't get eaten, however, then it jumps into this little global loading cage off screen. Here it doesn't unload, which means that now all 100 ELC spots are filled and the blaster can't fire a mushroom anymore, which in consequence prevents the floor from disappearing. Super simple stuff. Finally, let's worsen empty corridor swim levels. So those stages are, well, empty levels where Mario has to swim through an empty corridor until the timer almost expires. Those stages are horrible, but they only last for 500 seconds. Unless we find a way to lag the game, since lag would increase the time required to beat the stage drastically. as long-term viewers probably know. Sadly, Nintendo made sure that lagging the game is no longer possible in Super Mario Maker 2, so we can't do anything here. I hope you enjoyed this little video. If you did, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up and maybe... I'm obviously kidding. Nintendo really did their best to patch out all ways to lag the game. But naturally, that didn't work out that great. Here's a simple way to produce tons of lag in Super Mario Maker 2. As soon as the game starts, this swamp starts to move, pushes all the springs and all the stars to the right. To the right, there is a small global loading cage where all the 200 items get stacked on top of each other, and voila. Suddenly the game runs at about 8 frames a second, which means it runs at only 1/8 of its normal speed. Swimming through an empty stage now no longer only takes 500 in-game seconds, but suddenly it takes about an hour, which definitely makes the stage a lot worse. Hooray! So here we have it, 5 ways to make some of the worst Mario Maker levels even worse. So before we wrap this up, just one more thing. I'm moving over the next couple of weeks, which means that I'll be super busy and without access to useful internet for quite a while. So since I can't really dig deep into Mario games for the next couple of weeks, let's do one of those famous 422,000 subscriber question and answers videos. For those not familiar, famous 422,000 subscriber Q&A videos work like this. You wonderful ladies and gentlemen, ask me a question in the comments and I'll do my best to answer it in the famous 422,000 subscriber Q&A video. That's it. So if anyone has any questions they want me to answer, be it personal or Mario Maker related, gaming, how to solve your math homework, whatever, any questions, just leave me a comment below and I'll answer as many of them as possible in the famous 422,000 subscriber Q&A video that will either be the next video or the one after. Awesome. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this little video. If you did, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up and maybe feel especially bad today and want to hit the subscribe button as well. I hope that all of you have a wonderful day and to see you soon. Goodbye!